Tombola team, my name is Monique. Welcome back to my channel where we today are in a Christmassy cauldron because this is my December TBR. In case you were not aware, this is Bookwitch Reviews, my channel where I, in the last 2 months, have started doing a game called TBR Tombola, which is a TBR game where I use a little tombola bingo machine. I pick 7 numbers and each of these numbers have a prompt attached to them. I will leave a link to my original video down below. I'll also leave a link to the video list so you can watch them all. There are currently 2. This is the 3rd. Also, it's December. I love my Christmas tree, and also my girlfriend has taken over the cauldron, so we're doing it in here today. So I actually finished my TBR of November, which was a bit of a surprise. There were some titles that got mixed up, there were some titles that disappeared, but we did our best, and I actually do it around 4,700-ish because one of the titles is an e-arc and it doesn't have a page number yet, so I don't actually know how long it is, so I'm guessing it's around there. But this month we are just going to focus on having a lovely time, and I have picked my numbers, so let's just get to it. And it is 76. My first number was 76, which is a new release or a book box, a book, and for that I have chosen to try and read the 2 books before this one and then this baby. This is The Mask Fallen by Samantha Shannon, which is the 4th book in the Bone Season series. In it we follow Paige Mahoney, who lives in an alternative universe to us where clairvoyancy is real but also very illegal. She gets arrested one night for being part of this like mobster mafia underground clairvoyancy group, and the entire tone of the book changes and we see that the world really opens up. I only read the Bone Season in the beginning of the year, but Bloomsbury was very generous about sending me a copy of The Mask Falling, which is coming out, I believe, on the 26th of January. And this is just a beautiful little floppy paperback stunner, and I really want to read this series because Samantha Shannon's Prayer with the Orange Tree has my whole heart. I will learn this one day. 54. My second number was 54, which is a Magical Realism book, and I am very glad to say that I can finally get this book on my TBR. This is A Pheonix First Must Burn, edited by Patrice Cadwell. This is a short story collection of black girl magic across a multitude of genres. I believe there is quite a lot of magical realism in here, probably a little bit of sci-fi, maybe some fantasy. This is one of the books that I absolutely have to read before the end of the year. I'm very, very excited about this one. I also absolutely adore the cover. Third number is 32. Coming in as the 3rd number is 32, which is a sci-fi novel, and for that I will be reading one of my recent purchases, which is The First Sister by Linden A. Lewis. This is a queer space opera, I believe, where we follow the first sister who is part of an order, and in this order that basically means that she is owned body and soul by the captain and the crew of the spaceship that she is on board, and suddenly she loses the captain and the crew that she has I guess served with for a long time, and gets introduced to a new captain that has a secret that her order wants her to figure out about, and then there may be some feelings. I'm very excited. I've heard really great things about it. It's absolutely stunning and very intense. The 4th number is 13. Number 13 is an adult fantasy, and for that I will be re-putting a book that was also on my November TBR, and that is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. Rebecca Roanhorse is a Black Indigenous author, and this is a fantasy that I believe is inspired by pre-Columbian times, and in it we basically follow a young man who is blind and supposedly vulnerable, and a young woman with water magic who is a bit of an outcast, and we are following in this sort of like ancient prophecy where there is a possibility of when there is an eclipse that the world is going to end, and this young man possibly might have something to do with it. It sounds wonderful. I was so sad that I didn't actually get to read it in November because I prioritized some arcs, which I should be doing, but this is definitely a book that I am looking forward to reading in December. 50. If number is 12. In as number 12, we have another adult fantasy, and for that, I am going to be reading Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames, which I have heard amazing things about. This is basically an old group of mercenaries who reconnect with each other to save the world. So basically grumpy old men who might have once upon a time been the best at what they do. Now they're going on an adventure to figure out why it is that they are becoming older and how to sort of stop it. At least that's what I think. I'm very excited about this one. I am especially more excited maybe about Bloody Rose, which is its sequel, which is meant to be queer. It's just meant to be a very funny, light read. Even though it looks a little bit fat, I believe it'll be quite a fast one. Sixth number is 48. We have a 48, which is a chance card, which I have not yet picked. We have my ugly little self-written ones. I am mixing them. We are going to pick one that says book community favorite. So basically I have picked the exact same chance card that I did last month. So I will finally be reading The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, which is a Greek myth inspired novel where we follow Achilles, who is the big Greek hero, and Patrice, who was meant to be his best friend and one of his soldiers, in this sort of very intensely retelling. I believe that in this book they are lovers. I am super excited about reading this. I've also heard that it's meant to break your heart and hurt your soul, which I cannot wait for. Madeline Miller also wrote Circe, which was one of my favorite books last year. I'm just very, very excited about reading this book. Also just to get something that's non-fantasy onto my TBR. I was thinking about re-putting Cemetery Boys on here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And seventh number is 65. And finally, at number 65, which is a friend favorite, I will finally be reading The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. My friend Sean from Instagram at Lonely Reader, who I will leave links to down below. Please check him out. He's really cool and also wonderful. Has been telling me to read this trilogy for a very, very, very long time. I'm aware that it is also a Booktube and Bookstagram favorite. Everyone loves this book, at least everyone that I have heard of. It is a Russian folklore inspired trilogy where we are following a young girl called Vasya who can see these ancient spirits and sort of gods. And her father remarries to a young woman who can also see these spirits, but however she is a very devout Christian, and so she brings a priest to this very small village who then starts basically banishing these spirits, and then bad things happen. I believe it is a coming of age fantasy. I have heard nothing but amazing things about it, and it is another book that I absolutely have to read this year, in this month, because we only have this month left of the year. So this is my wonderful stack of books for my December TBR Tombola. I want you to pretend that there is an additional 2 books underneath The Mask Falling, because I cannot read this one without reading the Songwriting and the Mime Order. And then there is possibly also some paranormal romance, because I'm really in the mood for that. May also need to read some arcs. So we'll see how it goes. I may change a few, but for now, this is my TBR. I am super excited. The 2 books that I absolutely have to read on here, however, is The Bear and the Nightingale and The Pheonix First Must Burn. And then we'll just see how it goes. I am very excited. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button at the same time so you don't miss out on any other videos from me. Let me know down in the comments what you are thinking of reading in December, and then I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll speak to you guys really soon, and I'll be back with another video.